Hey guys, and welcome to week 7 of our 52-week Excel series. Today, we're diving into conditional formatting in Excel, a super useful tool that lets you automatically highlight cells based on their values, and it also keeps updating as you go. Whether you're tracking deadlines, spotting trends, or identifying top performers, conditional formatting helps your data stand out. Literally, by the end of this video, you'll know how to use it to make sure your spreadsheets not only look smarter but way more visually impactful. So let's jump right in. So I have a spreadsheet for you guys here where we will be carrying out some conditional formatting formulas, and you guys can just open up Excel, and if you guys want to follow along, it's a great practice. So first of all, what is conditional formatting? Conditional formatting allows you to change the appearance of a cell based on a specific condition or rules. So instead of manually highlighting things, Excel can do it automatically based on the values, text, dates, or even the formulas that you have created. And the best part is it always keeps on updating as you go. So now on your Excel spreadsheet, where can you find conditional formatting? So as you can see on your screen, you are by default on the home menu tab, and under the toolbar section, when you look at somewhere around the center, there is an option which says conditional formatting. And when you click on conditional formatting, you are given a bunch of different options here, as you can see, and depending on what kind of formatting you want to do on your cell, you can always choose the right ones that fits exactly in your scenario. So before we jump right into conditional formatting, this spreadsheet that you guys see here, this is a dummy sales report for an auto sales company, and they had a target for every quarter, and they also have the actual number, how much cars they sold in the specific quarter. So we've got quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we've got the targets, and we've got the actual sales, how much they sold. So let's say you're presenting this file to one of your superiors, and you want to show them which specific brand or which specific quarter you want to improve in. Now, some of the examples when you can use conditional formatting is you can highlight overdue tasks based on the dates that you have on your spreadsheet. You can color code a sales performance, and that's what we're going to do here. As you can see on this spreadsheet, this is a dummy report for every quarter target and actual sale of an auto industry. And what you can do here is you can try to make it appealing, and when you're sending it to someone or when you're presenting, it can always be made more visually appealing, and you can always address the main pain points that you want to talk about. So right now, as you can see, the spreadsheet, this kind of looks simple, and you can play around with different colors. And to make it more visually appealing, what you can do is you can add some color codings into this data. So it's not simply just the numbers. Now your data is trying to show or trying to convey a message straightforward looking at the color codings. So for this specific example, we are quickly going to look here, and we are going to compare the numbers based on the actual versus the target. So to do so, what we are going to have is you have to select the area where you want to apply your conditional formatting. So first of all, I'm going to select the actual numbers here, and what I'm going to try and focus on is, before sending this to anyone, I'm trying to highlight all the numbers where we did not perform really well. The areas where we did great, it's always a good news, but we want to address the ones where we could not do great, and we can always improve. So in this scenario, I'm going to select the range where I want to apply the conditional formatting, and then we can always, same thing as we talked about in the previous videos, you can always copy and paste your formulas or the formatting as well. So we're just going to focus on one quarter for now, and I have selected the range here for quarter one actual sales. So I'm going to go ahead and click on conditional formatting, and you can try different ways. You can highlight cell rules if they're greater than a specific cell, but you can always go ahead and create a new rule as well. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new rule because we have multiple values to compare. And when you click on conditional formatting and when you try to create a new rule, it's going to give you a pop-up. I'm just going to bring it on this side. Okay. And first of all, what you have to do from the pop-up is you have to select the rule type. So often it's going to be a specific formula, so I'm gonna go ahead and use a formula to determine which cells to format. And now in this area I'm going to add my formula here just so it can compare the target versus the actual. So our column is, the target column is C and the actual column is column D. So what I'm going to do here is, first of all, I'm going to add a column, add a formula here. So our first cell is D4. So I'm going to check if D4 is less than C4. And you don't have to give a range or anything because you have already selected the range here, and then only we are creating a formula and the formatting rule. So once you have your formula here, go ahead and click on format, because right now there is no specific format here. So we'll go ahead and click format, and we will go to fill option because we're going to highlight that cell. And now I'm just going to select red color, or maybe a lighter version of red, so that kind of shows how the performance was. And to show the low performance on those cells, I'm going to highlight it red. And once you click OK, now you can see this is how the preview of the cell is going to be. And you have your condition here, D4. If D4 is less than C4, then the cell should be highlighted. And when I click OK, that's where the conditional formatting kicks in. Now this specific overall for the quarter one, we did quite well. The target was somewhere around 2200 and we achieved 2800. So that's overall goal is quite good, but for certain brands we did not perform really well. So those are some points that can always be improvements. Now to do the same thing for all the actual sales of the quarters, what you have to do is just simply copy the whole range from here. Just copy that, and now go here, right click, and instead of just pasting it directly, you have to paste the formatting here. So go and select paste formatting, and now your same rule for conditional formatting is here. Any value that is lower than the target for Q2, that will be highlighted red. And as you can see, this actual quarter, we did not perform really well. Same thing for Q3, we'll go and highlight, and same thing for Q4. Alright, so that is one simple rule that you can create, and there will be lots and lots of options how you can play around with conditional formatting and how you can create different rules. But this is basically the starting of getting into conditional formatting, how you can play around. And if you talk about the most common used options in conditional formatting, that is highlighting the cell rules. If you want to check the top 10 or the bottom 10 or the ones above or below average in these cells, you can always create a rule for that. There will be some data bars or some color scales that you can highlight the cell halfway based on a range that you give. So there are different options that you can play around with, but like I said, this is just the beginning of getting into conditional formatting, and over the time and over the next few weeks we will be diving deeper into conditional formatting and much more complex scenarios to look at. Alright, so that wraps up our week 7, and thanks for hanging around. Conditional formatting is one of those features that's easy to learn but super powerful when you master it. And if you find this video helpful, like always, hit that like button and subscribe and smash the notification bell so you don't miss the next week. If you have any questions or you got some cool ways to use conditional formatting, drop it in comments and I'd love to hear how you are using Excel in your daily life. Catch you guys next week, same time, same channel.